Hello guys, this is Goodlike and it's time for day 2 experiences and feedback of RaiderZ EU Closed Beta. It was quite an interesting day in fact. Not only I finally managed to get past the cave since it's no longer bugged, I also found out that it wasn't really that important cave at all. I thought I was gonna fight like the last boss of the friggin' island there, but no. It's just some random dudes, one of which in the end ran away because he was too much of a pussy. Oh well, eventually we got to fight the crawler, the big boss. I quite liked it. I'm not sure if you were supposed to do it in party because it did look and feel and was difficult like an epic boss. I didn't find it significantly more difficult, though it did take a bit longer to kill than the previous epic bosses. After I killed the boss, finally crafted armor out of his leather, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it was leather. Of which there was exactly the right amount. I liked that. That was really cool. I didn't need to redo it multiple times, unlike some other bosses later down the line, about which I will talk later. After leaving what I think is the tutorial area, finally we get into a quest hub, found the blacksmith that apparently can craft superior weapons to the weapon that I just used to defeat an invincible monster right there. Also, he could also craft that weapon. Well, I don't know, the technology really has sped up. Cause you know, like, random blacksmiths already know how to craft weapons of destroying invincible monsters. Afterwards I moved on to the plains area, which is the next area full of many quests. I haven't found much improvement in the questing so far. I don't find it absolutely necessary that a quest would be different per se. The combat mechanics make up for everything. Also, you can find just random dudes that are vastly higher than your level out of nowhere. Well, maybe not vastly, maybe a few levels, but still, he hit me like crap. 100 plus damage to my 1000 health. Are you kidding? That is a lot of damage. Anyway, this day I encountered 2 epic monsters. The big bad wolf and the big bad spider. The wolf, called Fleetfoot, was quite interesting. I could definitely see a step up in their difficulty in comparison to the old first zone epic mobs. They posed more of a challenge even for groups, though they still couldn't reasonably kill them. So I still stand by my statement that if a group is fighting them out there, they should probably be slightly scaled at the very least to make them more worthy opponents. An interesting thing happened this day, specifically that there was a GM event. During the evening, I just happened to be there. I believe it was live streamed, but basically the event was like this. The GM came to a random place, which just happened to be where I was, out of sheer luck. I was just there and they decided to come there. So what the hell, I have to check this out. And they spawned a really high level mob. It was level 29 and it was clearly an epic mob because it was running around like crazy and doing ridiculous amounts of damage. Unfortunately for the said mob, the GMs also brought probably the entire community of the friggin' beta server into the same channel, which pretty much meant that the guy stood no chance and was destroyed pretty fast. Most likely significantly faster than expected. But then what do I know? I tried to help them out, but as a melee character at level 10, I didn't stand much of a chance against the giant. I just died instantly if he hit me with any of his attacks. Now I could avoid a lot of his stuff, but definitely not everything. Anyway, on to suggestions and fixes. First of all, what I think is quite important, there needs to be some sort of distinction between the repeatable quests and normal ones. At the moment, the repeatable quests look exactly like the normal ones. They have the same quest marker. The only difference is that when you actually pick up the quest, you can finally see that it is indeed a repeatable quest. It was quite annoying when I was looking out for quests on the map and I constantly see that exclamation point there, and I keep sometimes, at least until I got used to it, thinking, oh, there's a quest. Wait, no, there's no quest there. That's just the repeatable quest that I've already done and I don't have any desire to do. A simple color change would be sufficient, I believe, and it would solve all issues. Another thing about quests is that a lot of quests you can do, obviously, due to level requirements or something else. However, I would like to have some sort of indication as to what specifically do I need for this quest. At least vaguely, like you haven't completed the previous quest requirement for this, for example, or you need this high of a level in order to accept this quest. It would help me out. I wouldn't have to like constantly come back to that place thinking, I wonder when I will get that quest, because there was something like that in the main town area, and that main town area spans most likely levels up to 25. I could tell that because you can craft armor of level 25 and weapons of level 25 there. So I guess that you're gonna stick around there for quite a while, and having constantly to go look at this guy if he's already got the quest for you is a little bit meh. I'd rather just know, yeah, I can't do this until I'm this level, or I have to find some other quest first, which hopefully will then lead me to this place at the time. Which it actually did. Because that guy was the soulstone dude, and I got a quest to come back to him later down the line in the plains. Next thing that is also quite obscured are the stats. The stats menu shows obviously all your stats and gives basic ideas to what they do, but it doesn't give you any numbers. Well, you can easily figure out, I suppose, by taking off your items, putting them on, doing some math, etc. But I'd prefer that information once again to be readily available in-game easily, just like with talent points in the previous video. So I wouldn't have to do something weird just to figure it out. It's unnecessary. Someone will do it. He'll make a post somewhere on the internet, I'll go read it. What's the point? A little thing about the buff, specifically the battle cry, which I got as a talent for my defender at 10 plus talent points. Or skill points, if you're not a wower like me. It lasts 60 seconds, which is fine. However, there was no indication that it lasts 60 seconds on the talent description. What is said that it would give me a buff that would increase my stamina regeneration by 15%. It didn't give me any duration whatsoever, it only gave me the cost and the cooldown. It is vital to know how much this buff lasts. If it, for example, lasted 15 seconds instead of 60, it would have been literally a wasted talent point for me, because I don't group that much, and it would be much more of a group utility and you would need to use it. Thankfully, it actually lasts 60 seconds, which means that I can keep it up almost 100%. That being said, another thing, I would prefer to actually being able to keep it up the entire time. I suggest that you either increase its duration by 5 seconds or reduce the cooldown by 5 seconds, whichever you prefer, but basically make it so that the duration of a buff and the cooldown overlap a little bit, so I have a little bit of free space to refresh it. It's much better to have something consistent in this case, especially for people like theory crafters. Imagine if they had to theory craft you having not 100% uptime of this buff. That would be a pain in the ass for them, and would add a lot of unnecessary calculations which can be avoided just by adjusting this buff a little. Next on the list, when you reach the town you get the quests for learning about exploration, and basically this quest teaches you how to collect ore from nodes and plants and all other kind of stuff like chests with lockpicks. Unfortunately, however, I found the plants are not conspicuous enough. You cannot see them appropriately. Most of the time they're obstructed by stuff like grass. Heck, sometimes I mistake the actual random grass for the plant that I have to pick up. They're just not different enough, and most of the time I will miss the plant unless it's sitting in a plain field where there's nothing in there. It could be I just cramped my options too high and I have too many grass thingies on the ground. But even so, I think that there has to be some sort of easier way to distinct it from the surroundings. Speaking of the surroundings, I seem to have lost my ability to pick up cannons in this cave, despite the fact that cannons are there and stuff. I'd very much prefer that my ability to pick up stuff wouldn't vary from place to place. If I can pick up a cannon, that means I can pick up a cannon no matter if I'm killing Mokans dudes in their cave with their cannons or if I'm using this cannon over here. If I cannot do that for balance reasons, then please either do not put said cannons there or replace them with something else like a bigger model, which would be too large for me to pick up, or a smaller model which I wouldn't bother to pick up. Kind of the same with chests. I found one chest in the village of strange persons, and I found similar chests in the dungeon which I just couldn't open, which was a shame. They weren't interactable, they were just a part of the scenery, but since they look exactly the same or really close to the boxes from before, I obviously tried to open them and I found out I couldn't, which disappointed me. I wanted that cannon. Come on, do you not realize I want to shoot things with a cannon? And finally, a few things about drop rate and monsters. First of all, a slight bug I suppose. Fleetfoot's message appears to go really far away. As you fight him, you have this message that he summons wolves, a pack of wolves, and obviously then he summons a pack of wolves which suddenly start attacking you. It's all fine and dandy to have this message. The problem is that this message for some reason goes all the way to the other woods, to the woods of the spider. In fact, these aren't the woods you're looking for, is what I'm going to say, because really the distance is quite far away. You definitely don't need your messages to go that far. You can't even kite him from what I've seen. I think he resets if you pull him too far, so there's really no point in having that message go such a distance. It simply distracts you. You suddenly see, oh my god, somebody's summoning a fleet of wolves. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Why is this massive spider summoning a fleet of wolves? Oh, it's Fleetfoot. Oh, never mind. And in that time, while you're distracted, the spider hits you in the face. Probably. Unless you're good and you manage to avoid it. Another thing is that I found these vendors in the far east of the plains area, well, they're not really vendors, they're crafting places where you get recipes. And you can craft rings and necklaces there. My problem is the requirement is 10 Uruk bones per item. Now you probably only need 1 ring and 1 necklace, so that's 20 Uruk bones that you need. I say, okay, 20 Uruk bones. Yeah. I spent good half an hour doing nothing but killing Uruks to get those bones. Now you might say, oh, but yeah, it has to put some grind there. Yeah, I do agree that there has to be some sort of grind in order to make the game last. But I think that this grind shouldn't be on simple mobs. So to speak, Uruks are just your basic bulls that all they do is just charge you and knock you back, which is very annoying and makes killing multiple of them at any pace really difficult, because they just charge all over the place and are never in one spot, so you end up killing them one by one anyway. And the drop rate is quite low for Uruk bones as well. It's a rare material. I think something that is rare shouldn't be nearly as much as required, especially for these non-essential items. If it was fighting something like Fleetfoot additional times or the big spider additional times, that is fine. They're epic, they pose a challenge, they make it interesting. I enjoyed killing the big queen spider and trying to avoid her and trying to figure her out multiple times. It wasn't that difficult, but really you have to observe her properly, and doing that while being sleepy usually ends up with you getting hit in the face. If it's that kind of grind, then I can get behind it. It would be actually interesting, fun. Maybe it would even require parties to make. It would add socialization. However, just grinding Uruks, which are also on the other side of the map, by the way, on the western side, I don't think that's good. I think you should at the very least reduce the requirement to like 4 bones per piece. That seems more reasonable, because when I killed them for quests, that's how many I had. 4 bones after I'm done with a quest. I had to kill like 12 or something, maybe 9. Sure, I killed a few extra. And then I spend a really long time farming up the rest 16 and just killing them. And finally, a thing that I would also want related to mats is instanced areas for all the epic mobs. Fleetfoot gets one. It's the repeatable quest that I spoke of at the start of this long list of things. If you do that quest, you get an instant zone where there's only Fleetfoot, nothing else, no additional wolves, nothing, just Fleetfoot. The same Fleetfoot that you meet out there in the wild, but only for you and perhaps your buddies. You can kill him there, get his mats, no problem whatsoever. The other epic mob, the spider, however, does not have such a thing, so when I wanted to farm up her ingredient for armor, I had to just sit there and, you know, keep picking her up and practically denying people loot because of the tagging mechanics. If I just come into a fight that has already been started, I won't get any loot. I still will get like quest complete messages, but I won't get any loot. That's fine. That's totally fine. And yes, you can make a party and then it'll solve itself. It's just that I don't like interfering with other people, and I would prefer to actually try and solo these guys, which is very difficult when random people come out of nowhere and help you. Yeah, soloing in this game is really hard, because there's so many friggin' people. Anyway, that's about it. In general, I enjoyed my second day experience quite a bit as well. The GM event was considered quite weak by most people. They didn't like the fact that they didn't get experience or loot from it. Yeah, because this isn't a beta and all your stuff won't disappear in 20 days anyway. Come on guys, come on. You're testing for bugs. you should be happy that the boss didn't bug out. That is the greatest reward of all in this beta test. Can't be greater reward than a bugless beta. Yeah. What else can you want in a beta? I found myself a bit of challenge, and I will now leave you with this footage, which is most likely sped up, of me kicking Fleetfoot's ass by myself in the instance. It took 21 minutes or so, so it'll probably 2 or even 3 times faster than normal, because otherwise this video would just take an hour or something. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.
Bah!